Brand is that gut feeling that you get about an organization or a person when you see them or see the logo. That is the bottom line to it. Now, this is affected by a number of different elements. One of them being the aesthetics of a brand. What does it visually look like? What does it visually stand for? What are the colors? What are the logos? Those types of things. What is the style of it? Is it corporate? Is it playful? Those type of things, the aesthetics. Then you've got the other factor, which is the messaging. What messages are they putting out there? How are they communicating with people, and in what way, in what manner? Is it playful or is it serious? Is it very corporate or is it very polished and, you know, refined? And then another factor is their positioning in the marketplace, their pricing points. So if we look at a brand like Tesla, for instance, it's very high in pricing, although they're trying to position themselves in the market to the lower audience now, but originally it was very high in pricing. Now, if we look at the likes of Apple, who I always use for an example, their position in the market is expensive. When you think of Apple, you think expensive, you think premium, and because you think premium, you think the best products, and that's what we think of because of the position that they've put themselves within the market. Now, a lot of people, when they think about brand, they get caught up on the logo, and that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because at the end of the day, think about Google. Google as a word does not mean anything. The logo does not mean anything, but they define the meaning of it by the messaging and how they put themselves across. You now think of Google to mean something, whereas originally, if you talked about before Google was put together, you would think like Google was something like a baby would say. So a logo or a name doesn't necessarily have to mean anything at all, so don't overthink it. You put the meaning behind it by the messaging and the way that you put yourself out there. Now, aesthetics is another thing that people get caught up on, the colors that you use. Yes, there is psychology to colors that people use. Like normally black and white is linked to premium, and light colors like say like a blue, a light blue, like what Facebook uses, it's linked to trust. And then you've got colors like red that are also used by a lot of fast food restaurants, and it gives across the image of fast, because in the Western world, red means different things. Whereas if you go to China, for instance, red means lucky. So depending on the culture that you're living in, different colors communicate different meanings, feelings, and things like that. So sometimes you do have to be a bit more thoughtful about your colors that you're going to use. And that's why I always recommend that you go to a professional logo designer or someone that knows about the color psychology, like somebody that understands that side, because it can help with the automaticity of your messaging and the way that you put yourself out there. It really helps with a lot of things. But don't overthink it. Don't let it hold you up. Remember, speed is everything. You've got to move fast in this game, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. Now, one of the most important factors that I feel is often overlooked by businesses and brands is the messaging, the messages that you put across. What is it that you make a stance for? Like, certain brands are known for making stance on certain things. When I say stand for something, I mean you communicate your beliefs. When I was talking about in a previous post, psychographics, that's how I think about everything. Psychographics is not demographics in the sense of it isn't gender, it isn't location, it isn't how much money you earn. I'm thinking, what do you believe internally as a person? What is it that you have an attitude about? What is your attitude on certain topics and issues? What do you think internally? If I can communicate what I think to you and you agree with them, you're most likely going to like me or get on with me as a person. That's just how people work. You get on with people that you connect with on a deeper level. If you don't agree with something internally that I'm saying, then you're going to be put off by me. That's just common sense, and it's exactly the same for brands. And sometimes this is overlooked, the human side of a brand, and that's why most brands aren't looked at as a human, to be honest. Often a lot of people think, I can't be myself, that they turn on the camera or they start building their personal brand or things like that, and they start watering down who they are. They start being neutral almost, like they've got no opinion on nothing because they want to play it safe. But it's best to have an opinion. Yeah, some people might hate you, but at the same time, some people are going to love you because you stand for what they believe in. So you need to pick what side of the fence that you're on. So when you're putting out your personal brand, it's something to think about. Be yourself more. Don't worry about who is put off by you or who likes you. Don't worry about that. Just be yourself and make sure that you hit the key components, key things that you want to talk about, and you will attract the people that are right for you, and you will build deeper relationships by doing that.